Hey, this is hey, this is Ashraf. Welcome to the Content Marketing Hacks. And today's episode, I am just going to recycle the episode that I recorded months ago. Right, this episode was published a few months ago, and I think this episode can really help you again. And a few months ago, not many people listened to this, so I thought it's better to just republish this content, right? And yeah, enjoy. Oh yeah, before that, everything is the same. I didn't really change anything. I didn't even change the intro because I miss that intro. I miss listening to the intro and the outro, right? So yeah, enjoy. Why don't people buy your product? Have you ever gone through a process of having many followers, or you have a huge audience, and every time you post something, you get hundreds of likes, you get hundreds of comments, and you really think that they like you, your audience trusts you, your audience really know you, right? But when you post something about your offer, they don't buy from you, right? I mean, all you ever got was either being ignored or some comments from your friends like, wow, great offer, or sounds good, man, right? Yeah, that kind of comments really, really bad. I hate that kind of comments. And when you post something, you get this kind of comments and all these unnecessary comments, right? So why does that happen? Well, in this episode, I'm going to share with you why people don't buy your offer. And by the end of this episode, you'll know the 3 things you need to fix in order to get people to buy anything from you. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly the 3 things you need to fix in order to get people to buy anything from you. Alright? So, before we get started here, make sure to subscribe to this podcast if you want to discover more about how to create content that leads to sale, how to build an audience that really buy anything from you, and how to close a high ticket offers. Okay, so click that subscribe button or a follow button, right? So let's begin.
So the real question is this: how would an entrepreneur like us, who literally start from nothing or has limited resources and yet still wants to build an empire, join Ashraf as he answers this big question so you can apply it too? Welcome to Focus on Winning.
Alright, welcome back, winners. Welcome to the Focus on Winning podcast. My name is Ashraf. Thank you so much for being here with me today. So last year, I started writing some valuable posts. I mean, a post that contains tricks and tips, right? And there was a kind of hacks, life hacks, and business hack, right? So there was a lot of posts I created. And there was a post I wrote about how to speed reading, how to read faster, because I just learned from Jim Quick. And I created a post because there were many long posts in my feed and I need to catch up faster. I can't just read slower and then, click like and button, click like and comment. I can't just do that. I need to read a lot of them, engage to all of them, and just give likes and comments and all that. I can't just say, hey, great post. No, I can't just say that. That's lame, right? You do not say the great posts in other people's posts. That is so lame. And I need to read it faster. And that's why I shared that post. And that was also about how to promote yourself as an entrepreneur. I got that tips from Patrick Bet-David. So I got the tips from his YouTube channel and then I posted on my Facebook. How to promote yourself, right? How to self-promote, yeah, kind of like that. And then another post was about the power of publishing. I made it in series, like the power of publishing series 1 and then series 2, right? Part 1, part 2, yeah, kind of like that. In that post, I talk about what publishing has done to me and how it changed my life and my mindset. You see, most of my posts, in fact, all of my posts back then in 2020, I always talk about random stuff, but a very valuable one. I didn't really share I didn't share a trash stuff. I shared a very valuable posts. Okay, and those were all tips and tricks that I learned from others, or the things that I have applied it to myself. 2020 was a huge transformation for me, mainly because I started getting some traction and I started getting high engagement on most of my posts, mostly between 70 to 100 likes and comments, I believe. Yeah, 70 to 100, and sometimes more than that, right? Pretty huge for someone who was not big. Okay, I was not big. I was nobody. Okay, and I was so happy at the time I got that kind of amount of likes and comments. And I finally got recognized by many people, right? And every time I post something on Facebook, I got more than 10 notification hit my phone, right? You know the kind of noti that you get, like Jared like your post, or Jared comments on your photo, on your post, right? That kind of notification. Like, oh man, I love that feeling. I mean, it really gave me a dopamine feeling, right? Wait, did I use it right? Dopamine feeling. I'm not sure about that, but there was a chemical in our body that called dopamine, and it kind of gives you pleasure. Yeah, all right. So yeah, but it did give me a pleasure feeling, and I always used to think getting high engagement is all that matters. I mean, you get 100 likes and you win. That's it, right? If you don't get 100 likes, you fail. So that was the kind of mindset I had back then. All right, I'm talking about back then. So at that time, I started adding some strangers into my friends list, because the more like-minded strangers I have, the more engagement I can have, right? Does that make sense? And some of them add me because I got recommended by Facebook, or some people found me from other people's posts because I commented on their posts, and then some of their friends add me, okay? And I also started to remove some of my inactive friends and replace it with these new strangers. And I've been doing that for months. And then not long after, I met a friend who lives in Serbia. I met him in the ClickFunnels group, because he was active back then. He always posts something about affiliate marketing. He always talk about affiliate marketing, all things affiliate marketing. But the problem was, his posts always get low engagement. I mean, I'm talking about 20 to 40 likes or comments. I mean, that not that much, right? Really low compared to my posts, right? But this guy always keep posting it day after day, even if it doesn't get engagement. And all he did was talk about affiliate marketing. I mean, there was no other day where he just talked about any other stuff. He didn't even talk about motivation or mindset. No, all he ever did was talking about affiliate marketing. So I watch him, and I kind of feel bad for him. I felt bad for him because his posts were actually pretty good. I learned a lot from him, but seeing his posts didn't get much traction, it kind of made me feel sad, actually. So yeah, I feel sorry for him. However, one day I did a checkup on his profile, and I scroll all the way down. I scroll down, and he always shared the screenshot of the sales he made. And I was so surprised that there were actually a lot of screenshots that he shared on his profile. And it turns out he actually made a pretty good money. And at that time, he was selling an affiliate marketing program. That program offers an affiliate program. So affiliate marketing program for an affiliate marketing program. Wow. Okay, that's kind of messed up, but you know what I'm saying, right? Affiliate program for an affiliate marketing program. Yeah. And each person that bought through his link, he would get a huge commission. And I'm talking about $900 commission here. Like, wow, that was awesome. Okay, that was huge. So after a few months, he finally got to quit his job and started his own affiliate marketing business. And now that was when my mindset got shifted, okay? Because when he shared a post about he quit his job, I kind of felt that, wow, this guy actually made it, right? And after being friends with him for a while, after watching his posts, reading his posts, and following his journey, I started to learn that engagement doesn't really matter. I mean, engagement doesn't matter that much. I mean, it sure helps you get more eyeballs to your post, but if it doesn't help you sell your product or your offer, that post is just a waste of time, right? Because we are a business people, we don't create posts for the sake of engagement, because that thing doesn't pay the bill, right? And after seeing what my friend just accomplished and sharing posts almost every day with pretty low engagement and actually making money, I kind of feel like something was missing. Okay, there was something missing in my post, not on his post, but in my post. What is the missing thing? So that's when I started wandering around, learning from someone, learning from many people, trying to learn what is it that I miss, right? I mean, most of my posts have way more engagement than his, but I didn't make any money, right? So people didn't really reach out to me to ask me about my offer. Although that post was pretty good, but I didn't get any people to reach out to me. And at that time, I was selling a podcast monetization course, Podcast Profit Lab to be precise. Okay, that's the name of the course. But every time I made that kind of post that specifically for my offer, no one really asked me about it. Even though I put a clear CTA, I put a clear call to action on my post, like, hey, if you want to know more about this, reach out to me or comment #offer, right? Yeah, that kind of call to action. Okay. So even though I post that CTA, no one really reached out to me. Even though I created as many posts as my friend, the friend that I just mentioned about, and posted on my profile, I didn't really post it on any other group. I just posted on my profile. Okay. Did a lot of posts of the offer. No one really wanted to reach out to me to ask more detail. I mean, yes, I got a huge amount of engagement, but my offer still has not sold yet. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with you, Ashraf? Right. So, and not long after that, in August 2020, I found a mastermind. Okay, I talked about this in episode 51, I believe. Yeah, I guess it was episode 50 something. All right. So yeah, after investing in a high level mastermind, that's when I learned what was missing in my posts. And it actually comes down to three things only. Okay, so what are those three? First one is, who's your target client? Who's your ideal client? That's what's your who? Who's your who? Who's your target client? And the second thing is, what's the right content for them? Okay, what's the right content for them? And the third thing is, where to get them? Where to get them? Where do they hang out? Okay, kind of like that. It's basically like targeting the right people and getting my message right. And that's it. After I got all these three right, I started getting the right leads. And those leads were asking me about the kind of questions that I was expecting. And not long after that, I actually made some sales. Oh my gosh, even after joining it for quite some time, and I made some sales. Hooray, right? Even though the weird thing is, I didn't even post it on my profile. I made sales without posting on my profile. Now that was amazing, right? Selling without posting on profile. Wow, that is so cool. And that would be a good episode, right? Selling without posting on profile. I might consider about that. Okay, so anyway, if you have been publishing a lot of content and you have grown a pretty huge audience or followers, whatever that is, and you still can't make any sale, you actually need to look at these three things. The first one is, who's your ideal client? And second one is, how can you make a content that can change their false belief into a new one, right? And the third thing is, where do they hang out? Is it in Facebook group? Is it in Instagram? Is it in Pinterest or YouTube? Right? You have to look at all these three things. So why do I say it all comes down to these three things only? The main reason is because most of my audience that I add from Facebook, they are actually just a freebie seekers. They are only there to just give likes and comments. They are there to just engage to my posts. They are not going to buy anything from me anyway. I know that because, the way they post something, they only post something about quotes, motivation, like good morning post, right? So technically, the way they post something kind of reflects on what they would do to their friends, right? And that's why I believe that my ideal client was my problem back then, and also my message kind of too vague or too general. It's not that specific. Like I mentioned before, I always create a post about valuable content. I didn't really go in depth into the podcast space. I was selling the podcast course, so I didn't really talk about podcasts that much. I always talk about valuable stuff, right? Speed reading, how to self-promote, right? And all this stuff. I always talk about that. I rarely talk about podcasting. So when I know my who, when I know my ideal client and the right message to get them, and also where to get them, that's why I managed to make some sales, because of these three things. So these three things are the most important thing when you start a business, or when you really want to create content, or if you really want to use social media for business. Then these three things are the most basic thing. You really need to master these three things first. If you are using Facebook and you have added a lot of people that they seem like in a pretty similar niche, and if all they do is give likes and comments and not buy anything from you, then they are just freebie seekers. Okay, they are just freebie seekers. They are just lurkers. Okay, what's the right word for that? They are just there for to hang out with you. They are not there to buy from you. All right, so they are not your target client. So you might as well just delete them, because they are not going to give you money anyway. Okay, so do not care if all they ever do is give likes and comments, because you can always find that. And just remember that likes and comments doesn't pay you the bill. Okay, it didn't give you anything except for dopamine feeling. Okay, all right. So anyway, if you don't know who you should serve, or who you should help, or what kind of people that really want to buy from you, I actually have an ebook that helps you identify your perfect client. And this ebook will give you an absolute clarity on who is the right person that is ready to buy anything from you. Okay, because if you know your who, if you know who is your ideal client, who is your perfect client, you will know the right message to get them. So anyway, you can get this ebook at bit.ly/client for you. Again, it's bit.ly/client for you. And if you don't know the spelling, the link is in the description below. Right? So always remember that winners focus on winning. Until then, stay winning.
Hey, thank you for listening. We hope you can implement everything from this episode. And would you like to know more about business strategies and life hacks that you can apply right now? If so, subscribe to this podcast so you can become the best you.